Well, hello, 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 and welcome back. You are tuning into the Parent Camp Podcast. We are in season 2 of the Parent Camp Podcast. I am April Draine, and today we have the wonderful pleasure of having not only Miss Julie Powell, but one of our favorite coaches with the Parent Camp team. And I will let these two ladies introduce themselves. You know Miss Julie. So, Julie, can you say hello to our listeners?
Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, there she is. There she is. And we also have Miss Maz, is what we call her. Maz, can you say hello to our listeners?
Hello, everyone.
Yay! We have been trying for the longest to get Maz on an episode, and we finally have her. Her schedule worked out. We are all together. So, listeners, we have so many things we want to talk about, and we will not get them all discussed in this one episode, as we rarely do. But, Maz, if you can just take a moment to just introduce yourself to our listeners, who you are, where you're from, what you do, and we'll just continue to let the conversation flow from there.
Okay, yeah, I am Maz. That's short for Manaza, but nobody can say it, so I go by Maz, which nobody can say that either, but hey ho. I am, they can't, I have to spell it. Where am I? I'm in Delaware, so I have been here about 8 years now. I originally come from the UK, hence I have a strange accent. I am a mom to...
Thank you. Beautiful accent.
I know. I'm told I sound like the Queen. I do quite like that. I have 3 kiddos, so I have all elementary children, and we are about to. I'm about to transition with my oldest into that whole middle school arena. I am a stay-at-home mom, other than my work with Parent Camp, and I volunteer a lot at my kids' school. That's me in a nutshell.
You in a nutshell, and oh, what a nutshell it is. So,
okay, she needs to also.
I was about to say, Julie, help her out because I think she left some things out.
Okay, what all do you do with Parent Camp, Maz?
What do I do?
And how it started? How it started? Let's go back to
my parent camp journey. My parent camp journey. Okay, that started 3 years ago, 2 years ago, I think. So my kids' school, they go to a Spanish immersion school in Delaware. It's a charter school. And the school found Parent Camp, or they came across Parent Camp. I don't actually quite know how the school came across Parent Camp, but they did. And part of their core Parent Camp team was, as Parent Camp, we have like family, school, and community. They were looking for parents to join their Parent Camp team. And one of my son's 3rd grade teachers, I think, suggested my name. I think I just started getting involved at the school a little bit more. So I was like, okay, it sounds like fun. It sounds different. Why not? It was different. I was trying to get out of my comfort zone. I've been in that sort of staying at home and hiding, I suppose. So we went along. We did the training. We started sort of school parent camps in person, which was different because we did the so we do parent camp in both languages. We do if at a school we have the English sessions and we have Spanish sessions because a lot of our parents are predominant Spanish speakers. They don't speak much English, and that's always fun. So I go and I don't speak Spanish, but my kids are learning and teaching me. From there, I just love the concept. So I think I actually joined a couple of other school in-person parent camps, and I went to just because I was like, okay, this sounds like fun. I'm going. Then I think I was on the Parent Camp website looking, and there was a vacancy posted for the National Virtual Parent Camp coordinator. And I decided to approach Julie and Laura with my resume saying, basically, I went, so what about me? This looks like I could do this. So I started as the National Virtual Parent Camp coordinator. That was fun. So it was going back from being like a stay-at-home mom. I hadn't worked for 10 years and coming on and trying to figure out sort of working, which was very different post-COVID to what I had experienced in the UK. So I've never worked in America prior to Parent Camp. And it was very, very different. So I'm still learning every day. And then from there, my role with Parent Camp grew. I am now a Parent Camp coach to 4 schools in Delaware, which I absolutely, absolutely love. I love each of my schools. I love the role I have with those schools. that is basically my sort of start of parent camp and my journey into parent camp and even into work. And I think that's it.
So, but then let's also tie some other stuff in. So you began on the parent camp team, and then you reached out to us to be the coordinator because we
I
have,
did.
and then now you're coaching at the schools because you're like, I want to do more.
I
But
did.
then also at the time, so look at this growth in a parent who hadn't really been doing a whole lot, just
That
started
part.
volunteering,
That part.
Yeah,
and now is coaching at 4 schools
at schools.
and
Yes.
still
So,
doing
yeah.
the virtual parent, but then also, share about your increased role of just at the school at Los Esperos.
Yes, so I over the years, even like aside from parent camp, I started increasing my volunteering at the school. I practically live in the school, so I here quite a bit volunteering, doing different things. I help with planning different events at the school aside from parent camp. So part of I'm on the PTO, and part of the PTO we do like a Hispanic Heritage Festival. So we help with that at the school, and we get parents to come in and help with that. Recently we did like another Unity Day. So I get involved in any events coming up into the school. I'm going to be part of the planning there. I join in, I hear something, I'm like, okay, I'll come and do that. I'm also on the school board for Spiros. I'm a board member for the school. And I think I just I love to let parents know what I do because it like when I started parent camp, and probably still now, I think I still sort of hide in my comfort zone. I lack that sometimes confidence if I can do this. I remember my very first virtual parent camp, and I think I joined it. I just joined as the virtual parent camp coordinator, but that month was already planned. I think Laura and Julie had already planned the facilitators on that one, and I came on. And it was a friend of yours, April, you know her, Angela Masden.
Yep.
She did. She facilitated a session. I can't even remember what the actual topic title was, but it just came to me, and I was like, I want to go in there. So I went in there, and there was me and Angela. I think maybe you were there. I can't remember. There was another
Yep.
1 or 2 people in there, and we did that whole introductions. And I remember, and she probably doesn't remember this conversation, but it sticks with me. And I remember going in, and she said, "Who you are?" And I was like, "Oh, I'm just a parent." And that's kind of me. And she stopped me. She was like, "Let me stop you. You are not just a parent. You are the parent." And I was like, okay. And knowing Angela would go into all of us, I was like, yep. She gave, I don't know what she did. She gave, so she was like, I was like, oh my God, somebody who actually like cares and loves me and thinks I'm more than just a mom. But she pushed that in me. It was great. And I love going to, I love all the facilitators that come on virtual, but she really does. She's motivating when you just hear her story, or either other people like her because they came from the same sort of, they were parents, but they pushed and did other things and went out of that whole comfort zone. And I think that just helps to inspire you, and that helped push me. So I've definitely grown from when I started at parent camp, because I was like, oh no, I can't do this. I can't do this. And like Julie says, I now get up and coach. I think my first school I coached at, I was like fumbling. And then but I'm slowly getting better. I'm still not there, but I'm growing each time in each parent camp. So yeah, I think if I can do it, any parent can do it. I know when people go, I can't do this. So even at Spira, some of the parents will come and say, I can't do this, I can't be a part of this, I don't speak English, some of them will say. And I'm like, oh my God, you speak way better than I do, because I don't speak Spanish, but you speak a whole other language and you can do it. And I think it's fun to bring those parents on board just to like be part of the whole process.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, that goes back to one of our episodes in season 1 of meeting the universal human needs. And that's what we're doing, is building confidence, capacity, providing opportunities for people to contribute. So just as Maz is contributing to her community, then she's also seeing other parents and encouraging them to contribute. And then, you tie, as Maz started talking about Angela, and I'm just like, this is just such a small world. Like, I met Angela through April, and I met April through the Pusher Committee, through the Civil, because April was going through Civil. So it's like, it's just a small world. And I love how just the, I'm going to call it the energy of the universe connects people at the appropriate times.
Yes.
It really is. And I think at the time when we'd had that parent camp, it really does, because I think I needed somebody to say that to me at that time. Sometimes you're going through that almost like a downer where you're going in that, oh my God, all I'm doing is like my regular routine, and you feel a bit, I don't know what the word is, but blah, and you feel sort of dejected almost. But then to have somebody sort of validate that you are more than just
That
that, I think
part.
that was what I needed to hear at that
Yep.
time. I think she came in, and then I've not missed a virtual parent camp since. So
I love it.
I get her back as much as I can. But even with virtual, so even the in-person parent camps are amazing, because we get a lot of the local communities come and facilitate. You get to meet those, make those local connections. But the virtual parent camp for me is, I suppose it's almost like my start of the parent camp journey. So it's almost like a little baby to me, but I love the different people who come on there. There's people on there I've spoke to that I probably would never have spoken to had it not been for virtual parent camp. And learning some of the things they do is fun.
Okay, so Maz. Okay, I know our listeners can't see our faces, but I am like cheesing from ear to ear. I'm loving hearing your energy. I'm loving Julie. Of course, I love how we always can bounce off of each other. But when you mention the dual immersion, I mean, I know you come with you have a diverse background in the sense that you came from the UK to America. You mentioned that you've been here for 8 years, and then you come and you're trying to not only learn how things are done here in America with the schools and the school system with your kids, but then your kids are now involved in a dual immersion school where they're around other students who are speaking Spanish as well as English. How was that for you? I mean, of course, we're grateful to see the growth, the capacity that has definitely come from you being a part of the schools. But how was that transition for you to come from the UK to America, and then to not only learn the system that is America in that way, as far as education, the way we do things here, but also learning another language, and you have young children, and then you want to get involved in parent camp? That doesn't sound like someone who's scared to get out of her comfort zone.
Okay. Oh no, I am. So you can't see my face, but obviously my name does. But I'm like of Indian heritage, so my mum's Pakistani.
Okay.
I grew up, so I'm a hybrid. I was born in Kenya and I grew up in the UK. So I have classed myself as like British with that Pakistani background.
Okay.
So growing up at school in the UK was always tough. It was sort of in that era where people were so multicultural, or they didn't understand different cultures. I probably hid my culture more because I didn't want to like be different, and I wanted to fit in. So there was that, and then as the years got by, obviously the country got a bit more inclusive over there. It's still not there, I don't think, but small steps. So then I came to America. I actually came here 10 years ago. I've just been in Delaware for about 8.
Gotcha. Okay.
And I did not work. I stopped working when I first moved here, so I have not worked in all that time. And then it was that whole, you lose that village. So my friends and my family were all in the UK. They were the people I would depend on, but it was a different kind of depending when you're pre-children, I think. And it's a different kind of relationship. I came here and I think I got pregnant shortly after I'd moved here. And it's hard because you don't have that support system. So I sometimes look at my friends back home who have children and they still have family near them to pick up the kids or take the kids. And I'm like, I did that all by myself because I didn't have anyone. So that was tough. Then as my kids got older, so as my oldest two started school, my oldest was in kinder, and that was the year COVID hit. So we still quite hadn't made those connections. You knew people from sort of preschool, but it wasn't people who were friends. It was just people you knew. It wasn't people who you could rely on. So then he started kinder, and I just had a newborn, and then COVID hit, and then it was like, okay, we're back at home, and we stay home. And we did that, I think, I can't remember, for kinder, for all of his first grade, and part of his second grade year, I think, was virtual. And then they switched back to in person. And by then I was like, okay, I need to meet people. I need to build my village, and I need more for my kids. And I think that's how I ended up at a school. So the school here, system here in Delaware, you can choice your kids into schools. And I had applied for my kid in every school because I did not know how the system works. So what you do is I just applied everywhere. And when he got the accepted in Aspira, so I had the choice of, do I want him to go there or do I want to just stick to a predominantly English? I think it just opens up so many avenues for them when they're older. They don't realize it right now and they find it a struggle. Converse with someone in another language, I think, is amazing. It's beautiful. I wish I could speak Spanish, but I don't. I keep trying. So that's how we ended up with Aspira. And then as the COVID sort of thing came out, I was like, okay, I'm going to start going into the school more. I'm going to start doing more. I started actually volunteering in the library with the librarian, and that was amazing. I still do that regularly. I try to go in once or twice a week with her. I go into every book fair. I am there for the whole week because I love the books. I know. And every book fair I say, I'm not buying any more books for my kids. They do not read. And every book fair, I think I go away with like a pile of books I can't carry. She's like, you're going to buy books. I'm like, no, buying them because they just put them in a pile. They don't read. And then I end up buying books like, oh, maybe they'll read this and maybe they'll read that. And let me take the Spanish book. So she will get the books like this. She'll have books in English. She'll have like the books in Spanish for the kids. And even just seeing her is amazing because I think she's helped to bring me out. So everybody I meet, like you said, Julie, the energy the universe brings, I think they bring you people that you need at that moment, push you to be more than just yourself. So slowly my sort of involvement and my at the school sort of just kind of naturally increased. It wasn't like I planned it and I was like, okay, I'm going to do this, this, and this. It was just I would go in and then slowly something else came up. And then all of a sudden, before I know it, even though I said I was not going to do stuff, I'm doing different projects within the school. I can't even remember what the question was.
No, you're doing great. No, I mean, you're answering all the questions of how.
The question?
No, I don't even know if it was. Yes, you went through a lot of changes and.
Yeah. So then the kids, okay, so yeah, I know it was like the whole transition of the school. So they came here and they still struggle. My oldest absolutely tries his hardest, but he's not the best with his Spanish. And he's like, oh my God. My middle child loves learning to speak Spanish. If a Hispanic speaker's heard me and her, they would just say, that is not Spanish, what you're doing. But we have our like code language Spanish with like the few words that I know and she knows, and we build sentences and we talk around her dad and her brother at home in our broken Spanish. And they don't have a clue what we're saying. And then sometimes I don't know the Spanish word for what I want to say. So we kind of make it up and we're doing like a charade at the same time. And it's funny to watch. It's like anyone heard us, they wouldn't have a clue what we're talking about. But in our head, it's Spanish. But I won't speak my Spanish out loud in public. Embarrassed, it's so bad. But I love the school. It's inclusive because I grew up in a school where I didn't ever want to go in my traditional wear. I did not want anyone to see me in sort of like that traditional clothing. Here, my kids don't get teased. They're not made fun of because of that. The school embraces everyone. So even though it's a predominantly Hispanic school, at Unity Day, we had people dressed up in all different cultures, sharing like their cultures and their foods and their customs. And it doesn't feel like it's not what I don't know how the public schools are because we've never been in a public school. But for me, Aspira has a saying, somos familia, which means we are family. And they've really made me feel that.
Say that again. What is it?
I think it's somos familia. I can never say the Spanish correctly, but it's somos familia. I think it means we are family.
Oh, I love that.
And it's one of their phrases that they have at the school, and it really does feel like that for me. I don't come into the school and think, okay, I can't go in and I can't speak or I can't say this. I'm made to feel included. And I think most parents who come here are made to feel included. The school will support them with things outside of just the education for the children. So if there's a family member who's struggling, the school has like a family resource centre. They will get that family connected with the resources they need outside of school.
One of those resources is Matt Morrison, who is on season 1 episode of our podcast.
He was in season 1 episode. He is one of those resources in the community, and he is also part of the Aspira core parent camp team.
Yep.
And they, so they will just work and they will continue to build those connections within the community so that they can support those families. And I don't think you would get that in another school. I don't think other schools would care or even do that. Maybe they would, and I'm wrong, and someone will correct me. But
yeah, I think most schools try to do the best they can.
Yeah, they do.
I think there's a different feel and flair to Aspira because it is that combined Hispanic community, which the Hispanic families are very family centered. I mean, a lot of times households are multi-generational. And so, that feeling of community, so the parent camps that we have at Aspira look different than a lot of our other parent camps because we actually have rooms in both English and Spanish, and they're the same topics. So we get asked a lot of times, like, do you have interpreters, if you have different languages? And we actually encourage schools to have rooms in just particular languages. And the reason that is, and we learned this at Aspira, was there's a lot of value to families to be able to speak in their native tongues.
That part.
And the flow of the conversation is very different if you're speaking in your native language versus having an interpreter in the room, having to kind of like almost... the conversation is kind of conjoined. It doesn't flow as naturally. But the opportunity of that then too is we have parents come and speak in their native tongue, and we see this a lot of the same parents each time. And so we'll say, hey, you've been here, you know what this flows like. Would you be interested in becoming trained a facilitator? And you lead a conversation or facilitate a conversation.
Yes.
And when you see their eyes light up, like you're
I
asking
can do that.
me to do this, I can do this. It's like, yeah, you can. And I remember one of the rooms we had, it was actually a mother-son doing the facilitation there at Aspira, and it was the neatest thing to have them together facilitating a room. And that goes back to the theme of Aspira is we are family, and that's what almost all of our schools are trying to do is build families.
Build family, yeah. And it is, and I think having those sessions in just Spanish helps those families because they don't feel like they can't come and contribute. Sometimes they feel, okay, what we're going to contribute, we're going to have to wait for someone, and then if there's not an interpreter, what do we do? And here they can come and they can just be themselves. They don't have to wait. There's no delay in like understanding or getting the point across. And it's good to see. It's like, and they will come and everybody will mingle with each other. I've sat in those Spanish rooms, not understanding a word of it, but still feeling included.
Exactly, because it goes back to, you pick up so much from the body language and the energy in the room. It's just a lot of fun.
See, this is the thing that I love about Parent Camp, and I love, Maz, I'm so glad we finally got you on here because you're bringing up so many things that I'm sure so many parents who are listening will be able to relate to you because there's always a part of us that's trying to find ourselves with whatever room we walk into. Like, where do I fit in? Who do I relate to? Or is there something that I can contribute? And so hearing you as a parent who felt like she wanted to get outside of her comfort zone and to see how far you have come out of your comfort zone and how much you're involved with your school, with Aspira, with Parent Camp, with PTO, with the library, from the national side to the virtual side and being a coordinator. And then Julie also mentioning, the thing of even if you don't know the language, there's still something innately that's in us that, okay, maybe I can pick up on the body language or I can kind of figure out what's going on, but I just feel included. That's one of the bigger things that I appreciate about Parent Camp. And even we haven't necessarily said it as our title, but it's really what Julie mentioned and what you're showing, Maz, is this is all what it is about building parent capacity and confidence to show that parents, you can do it. And I'm so glad that Angela from that one Parent Camp session said something that made you feel validated, that no, you are more than just a parent. So this is, okay, I'm sorry, I'm excited. I'm all the things.
It is. It's like Parent Camp is like, you come, like I am, like I said, I'm like British, I'm part Indian. I've got that like Pakistani heritage in me. I came to a predominantly Hispanic school, and my first parent camp, you sit in a circle. So there's me. There's a couple. There's like an American guy, a white American guy. There's Hispanic families, and we're all talking, and it's kind of like, oh, we're the same. Like we have the same worries, we have the same fears, we have the same like hopes, and there's not really much different. It's just the world makes us think we're different, but actually, when you get down to it, we all have the same needs, the same wants, and we're all the same. And it's people who maybe I would see them in the car line at school, or I might see them at an event. I would never talk to them because I'd be like, oh, I can't talk to that person. They're different to me, or I can't talk to him, or they might think the same about me. But we're able to speak in that circle, and then it continues when you got out of that circle. There's people I've met in parent camp circles who I meet outside, and they're like, oh, I know you're at parent camp. And it kind of grows because now you don't feel as alien from them anymore because maybe you look different. So that's nice to see. And I've seen that not just with myself at Aspira, but at the other schools I coach. You see the parents who maybe would never have sat down, and I'm like, oh my God, I would never have put those two together. And then they've come to their second parent camp, and because they remember each other from the last one or from seeing each other at like a school event, they go and sit next to each other and they're talking, and it's like that wouldn't have happened before.
Yeah.
And that is always fun. It's like it gives you a big smile when you go into those schools and you see that happening. It's like, oh, we made that happen. So
it's providing the opportunity for people to build relationships.
Yeah.
And you're already mentioning it, and we're going to have this season, our listeners will be hearing more from the schools and some of the parents and or the principals or teachers, along with our coaches. So we're excited that you'll be able to hear more about what Maz and Julie have been speaking about so far with the different teachers and community people coming together, people you may not necessarily think would get along or communicate, but because of Parent Camp, we now have built a village. Yeah. And
we have.
And Maz, you now have additional family over here in these 10 years that you've been with us in America. So I'm just excited. I can't even stop right now, but it's so much more as always that we can say, and this will not be the last time you hear Maz's voice because she will be back.
Yes.
We're already saying that she will be. There you go. I'm clapping it up for you, Maz.
I'll be back.
Awesome. Julie, anything you want to leave with our listeners about today's conversation, building parent capacity and confidence? I'll just leave it for you to wrap us up today.
So, I mean, right there is parents can, seeing in others what they don't see in themselves, which is kind of one of my themes, and encouraging parents to be a part of not only their child's education, but other children, for the community, and like they can do it. They just don't know how or don't know the path or how to get involved. I do want to give a shout out for Maz for all the great work she's been doing according to our National Virtual Parent Camp. I encourage everybody to come join that. I mean, we started that during COVID because people were feeling lonely and isolated, and we keep it going because we have people who have joined us so many times over the years that they're part of the family, and we want everybody to be part of the family and to experience that. And if they're feeling lonely, just hop on and connect with somebody else. And if anybody's interested in being a facilitator, of course, reach out to Maz.
Yes, please.
Yes. I mean, we even have we have connections, like, I can't believe I say this, with the IRS. We're partners with the IRS because they don't want parents to struggle and stress over their taxes and how to kind of prepare and make things easier. We're partners with FAFSA, because parents, when you get to the college age years, need to be able to complete the FAFSA, and they work with us because we give them feedback on the FAFSA process and form. So it's kind of like building the connections for resources for parents. And so you never know what you're going to find on a month on virtual parent camp because all the rooms and topics are going to be different, and you're going to find something. And the way you find out about that is watching our different social media platforms and signing up for the newsletter, which you can do easily from our website. There's up on the menu bar the word newsletter, and you just click on that, and then you can click and sign up for our newsletter. I want parents to realize they can. Like, you two are prime examples. Like, you kind of dipped your foot into the water.
Yep.
And now it's like, You guys are a whole ocean.
Immersed. Yeah, now we're immersed.
And I want every other parent to feel that same way.
Yeah.
Well, this has been awesome. Maz, any closing remarks that you would like to leave with our listeners? Because you're coming back. We already know that, but anything you would like to leave with our listeners? Yes, you're coming back.
I think just thank you for having me. And if I can do it, anyone can do it, I think is all I can say.
Awesome. Well, listeners, so much more you'll be hearing from us this season, season 2 of Parent Camp. But thank you so much for joining us. Please like, love, and share this episode. And again, as Julie mentioned, please check out our website at ParentCamp.org. And all things Parent Camp, you can find us on all social media platforms, as well as our streaming sites or anywhere that podcasts typically are streaming. You can be able to find us. But until next time, thank you for joining us on this episode of the Parent Camp Podcast, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, April. Thanks, Maz.
Thank you, April. Thanks.
Thanks, ladies.